You were my favorite thing. When the dog bites, beat his ass. Hi.
Hey, everybody.
What's up?
We're back.
We're going back.
With another installment.
Back to school again.
Yeah.
Whoa. I gotta go back to school.
Yep, we're back with another installment of the Oscars.
Let's watch Grease 2 tonight. It's nominated in my book every year. All right, yes. Welcome back to our Oscar series. We are Late Night Snacks, are half of what it is. 50 Cent, represent.
Mm-hmm.
I am that guy with his pup who's in a lot of shitstorm trouble tonight, and little man.
I am Dewanda. So we are half of Late Night Snacks.
How quick do y'all want to see Nuka get his ass beat?
That might actually happen tonight. We don't know.
It might. But yes, we are here on our Oscar fit.
Yes, this is another installment of our Oscar coverage. Tonight we will be discussing musicals and a few miscellaneous things.
Yes, musicals and other stuff we can't fit in anywhere. They're fitting in right here, right?
Some of the categories are kind of tough to deal with. So,
is anybody here yet?
No.
Well, we will just pursue on. They can watch on their own time because we changed the time, so that's fair.
Yeah.
So if you're out there in the world, come join us.
Yes.
If not,
do come join us.
Watch before the Oscars. We'll give you all the innies and the outies. So there. All right. What's we start with?
So this is what we're going to be covering tonight.
I don't die.
We are going to be covering Cyrano.
Yep.
Don't Look Up.
Yep.
No Time to Die. Tick, Tick, Boom. And West Side Story.
Wow. It's a handful.
All right. And Blaze is in the house. Hi, Blaze.
Hello. Welcome to the Oscar party. Welcome to the Nuka Dies Tonight party.
He's not. No.
No, just kidding. Don't Look Up. What?
Yes.
Yeah, Don't Look Up. So, the reason why Don't Look Up is in here, and we do want to talk about it a little bit, more so than some of these others, is because of the number of nominations that it got. But Don't Look Up is it's not a farce, it's not a parody, it's a satire. What Don't Look Up, if you've not seen it, Don't Look Up is an original Netflix film, I believe, Netflix.
Yes.
Yeah, it was on Netflix. It has just this absolute Hollywood A-lister star list. The amount of money that went into that talent for this movie it's got to be astronomical. I will never make that money in a lifetime.
And for anybody who doesn't know, some of the cast is as follows: Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, Meryl Streep, Jonah Hill. There's a handful. They stacked this cast for this movie.
Absolutely. And basically, so what is this movie? It was so interesting. What's so interesting about this movie, and I thought it was going to be a front runner. I really did. I thought that this was going to start sweeping the award system, just because of how timely it is. However, it's really become a dud. I don't think it's going to do anything in the award season. The nominations that it got really wasn't stellar.
Yeah.
It got a Best Picture nomination.
It was nominated. It was nominated for 4 Oscars, including Best Picture, Film Editing, Music Original Song, and Writing Original Screenplay.
Yeah. The writing of the screenplay, I think, is his best chance of any awards if it gets an award. The talent that's behind this to not get nominated, not only for the Oscars, across the award season, it really has been kind of quiet on any big wins or anything like that. But what it is it's a satire based off of pretty much the idiocy of the Trump administration that we just went through, and all of its policies and how it really shook up the world in this crazed, fiendish kind of way through the press and through through word of mouth and through communication and misconception and stuff, and how quickly that can spiral out of control. So it's really kind of a farce on all that. It's our satire on all that. It just like the subject matter, the movie gets crazier and crazier as it goes along, crazier and crazier to believe that all of these real world things are happening to these people, but yet the administration on down makes it seem like a joke, makes world problems a joke. You could put it into a line with COVID. You could put it in a line to global warming. All sorts of these big problems that everybody just kind of makes a joke about and causes astronomical events. The subject matter that they chose to use for this video or this movie was a comet that's going to hit the Earth, and if a comet ever hits the Earth, just like it did in the dinosaur age, it would obliterate the planet.
It would obliterate the planet. Yeah.
And that's the real life scenario that they did in this movie, was that the scientists, who was Jennifer Lawrence and Leonardo DiCaprio, discovered the data that shows that a astronomical comet was going to hit the Earth in a matter of days. And they go all the way up to the government, to the presidency, and basically they're treated as a joke, and then they're treated as sensationalism, and then their own discoveries turned against them. They're making it seem like the government discovered this and turned the people against Jennifer Lawrence, and it gets out of hand. And the real life parallels of what we've gone through is amazing. How well they did this, this satire. But at the same time, it seemed to me, and I don't know, some people really like this film. Some people are just like, I'm gonna take it or leave it kind of guy on this film. I think that it overly tried too hard to make its point. I think it was fine making its point just as it was, without being so in your face about it and so star quality power. And so it seemed very pretentious to me. The film seemed very pretentious. Now, the performances are exactly what you would expect from these A-listers. I mean, the performances, I think Jennifer Lawrence gives one of the best performances of her career in this film. I think Leo is amazing in this film. Meryl Streep, of course, is absolutely amazing. Even Jonah Hill, who I'm not a big fan of, was great in this.
Yeah, I mean, Leo's playing completely against type. In this movie. All of them are, actually.
At the end of the day, though, you're left with just kind of that same feeling that you're left with in our real life, when it's just kind of like a bad kind of taste in your mouth. It's kind of like, that's so crazy, and yet it hits so close to home that it's like the escapism of the satire is just kind of not there. It just hits you.
Yeah.
I just I mean, it's a film to watch. It's definitely, sit down, watchable film. You get wrapped up in the drama of it, just like we get wrapped up in our everyday, news sensationalism drama. But when it's done, it kind of falls flat.
Right.
So take it or leave it. I don't think it's going to do much in the award season. That's why we're just kind of mentioning it here without doing a big old huge thing on it. I think that if anything that has a chance on is the original screenplay category, and even there, I really don't think it has a chance. So it's something I think that Hollywood put a lot of concentrated effort in, whether all of these actors got together simultaneously to make a point against the Trump administration and to kind of use Hollywood and their craft to show how they felt about certain things. I don't know a lot of the making of behind the scenes and what was all said and done at the time.
I don't think it panned out the way they were hoping it would, but
no, absolutely not. But I don't know. Maybe they just wanted to just make a point, and that was it, and they did that just fine. So there you go. So that's Don't Look Up. Netflix.
It is currently streaming on Netflix.
Yep, it's on Netflix now, and
exclusive.
Check it out if you want to check it out. It's kind of outlandish. But there you go. Okay, next. What are we talking about next?
Okay. Do we want to move on to No Time to Die?
Oh yeah, we'll just
to musicals.
Take it. I haven't seen it
yet. All right. No Time to Die is the latest James Bond flick. It is also the final James Bond movie for Daniel Craig. So he has been doing the last stint. He's been in the last 5 films, and this is his
5, or they only did 3? Wow.
He was in 5. This is his 5th. This is his 5th and final.
Well, go ahead, James Bond.
Oh, you thought he was only in 3? No, he
Yeah.
did 5. But they gave him the ending that he wanted. I'm not going to spoil it here. If you want to know what it is, you're going to have to actually watch the movie. Which, if you're a James Bond fan, they did a great job with it. The cast, the villain was played by Rami Malek. Rami Malek, yeah.
Yeah.
And we also got to see Christoph Waltz again, which was nice. He's the villain from the movie before, which was Spectre. So it basically, normally a James Bond film, it doesn't carry from one film to another, but for some reason with the last 3, I believe it was the last 3, with the last 3 James Bond films, they've pretty much connected those together, which was really interesting. Apparently they just couldn't fit everything into one movie, so they did 3 instead. And so this was basically the ending of all of that. So it's a really good. I can't really get into major details on it. However,
go ahead.
It was nominated for Music Original Song.
Go.
And the song was No Time to Die by Billie Eilish. It was also nominated for sound and visual effects. Now, obviously, a James Bond film, you want to watch something like that really loud, so the sound effects and everything else is going to be really great, along with the visual effects with explosions and everything else.
Which of the sound categories did it get?
That was the only sound category they got nominated for sound and visual effects.
Was it sound mixing or sound editing?
It just they just said sound.
No, let me see this.
They didn't actually say which.
No shit. It's 2 different sound awards.
Let's see.
Because it's very rare for a film only nominated one sound category to win.
Yeah. Because honestly, as far as the song is concerned, I was expecting a lot more from the song, and honestly, I was not that impressed with it. And for me to say that about a James Bond song is a tough thing to do, because normally those are really good, but this one I wasn't that impressed with it. I enjoyed the movie because it's very fast paced, and it keeps you interested from beginning to end, and you get an ending that you were not expecting to happen.
I don't think it's going to do any of those categories, probably.
Probably not.
It definitely doesn't have a shot in hell for the song.
No.
The sound categories. The sound categories to be nominated in only one sound category versus both of them is odd. That generally kind of rules that out, but not always, but kind of. And then what was the last one? Visual effects.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't judge, but I don't think so. There's other films up there that are you got shit.
There's other films nominated in that category that their visual effects are much better.
It's a way to to get James Bond's the film franchise and they're talked about a little bit,
right?
If it's his last film, possibly a shift for the James Bond franchise. It's just a way to keep it honored. But I don't think it's going to take home any trophies that night. So that's that.
And I don't think they're ending the franchise. They didn't really say anything about it. All I know is that this was Daniel Craig's last James Bond film. He's not coming back. So.
All right. Okay. So that's James Bond. Check it out. It is. How can you check it out? Is it to buy digitally?
I believe you're gonna have to buy it.
Buy or rent it
digitally. Yeah, you're gonna have to buy it or rent it.
Okay, so it's not streaming.
So it's not streaming at this moment.
Okay.
Doesn't mean it won't in the future, but right now it's not streaming anywhere.
So that's James Bond.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Moving on up.
All right.
What are we talking about now?
What would you like to talk about now?
Well, which one? We got Tick Tick Boom. We got West Side Story. We got
Cyrano.
Let's talk Cyrano. Okay.
Let's talk Cyrano.
Cyrano is Peter Dinklage and a bunch of newcomers. It is an actual off-Broadway production last year, I believe, or was it the year before shutdown?
It was in 2019. Yeah.
19, okay.
It was right before the shutdown.
Yeah, so off-Broadway production, original production of the story of Cyrano de Bergerac. It is a classic traditional telling of Cyrano de Bergerac in musical form. Unfortunately, this production did not go to Broadway, did not get the, COVID happened. Who knows what else happened, but it did not get the limelight that it, needed to become, full-fledged Broadway bound. But off-Broadway is okay in times like this.
Right.
And I don't have in front of me who wrote the musical, but it is an original musical, I believe. And Dinklage plays Cyrano. You have it is a classic retelling of Cyrano de Bergerac. So it's like from the original tale, it's pretty much that story, just done a little bit with modern upgrades of film quality. But it is a period piece. It does tell that tale. Pretty much how the original story tells the tale, but its musical form was very interesting to me, and it was very frustrating to me because this musical and the way it was told and the craftsmanship that went into it and the cinematography and the beauty of it, there's a lot of love put into this film, a lot of love put into this project. You could tell that the filmmakers and the writers, and they really cared about this project. It's a labor of love. You see it on the screen. However, the musical itself, the body of the musical, the actual libretto of it, it misses the mark in just about every way. And it's so frustrating because as a musical theater fan, and these type of period pieces that are about love and about lost love or love yearned need to be powerhouse. You need to feel from your guts on down this yearning that these people have for for this love. Roxanne's acquitted love for, was it the Duke or whatever he is, and Cyrano's acquitted love for Roxanne through his voice and through his through his letters and as he's voicing the other guy, as he's using the voice for the other guy, it's really coming from himself and from the heart.
The other guy's name is Christian.
Yeah, Christian. You really need to feel that angst, and it's almost there. And that's what's frustrating, because it's not. It misses the mark on every song. It misses the mark on every emotion, and it has the potential to hit it every single time. And it's just every song that I was listening to, in context and out of context, I listened to the soundtrack as well. It was like, just not hitting it.
It's like it almost made it, but just not.
Yeah, it really needs several more rewrites. It really needs to have a really good professional long-term Broadway team, a production house looking at it, and really tackling those songs and really sitting down storyboarding and really just working through the ideas and working through what they're trying to say with those songs, because it's melodically it's almost there. It screams that it wants to be there, and that's what was frustrating me, because if it hit it, I would have been all of this musical. It was so my thing. I mean, the way it was presented, the way the songs built, the way everything was in place was exactly it is the Les Miserables, it is the Phantoms, it is the Miss Saigons, it's those big deep period piece musicals that it wants to be, and it's not. And so maybe one day they rework it. I have a feeling this is going to be a project left dead. And just kind of go by the wayside. We'll see. I don't know enough about the the origination of it on off Broadway and all that. If we were just focused on talking about that, I probably would have looked up some facts and stuff about it. It would be interesting, maybe for a Broadway series. But
I do think that Peter Dinklage did an amazing job, though. He did.
Everybody did. The talent was great.
All did.
This is the original cast, the original Broadway off Broadway cast.
Peter Dinklage and the girl that played Roxanne they're the two that originated those roles, so they were brought in for that. I don't know about the rest of the cast though.
Okay. She's young. She's really now.
And she's really young.
What's funny about Cyrano is anytime I see anything talking about Cyrano de Bergerac or using the character Roxanne, you want that police song to play so bad. It's like almost like any musical rendition of that musical has to have that song in it. It's so, I mean, and they use it so, Baz Luhrmann used it so brilliantly in Moulin Rouge. You know, when they put that song in there, and so oh god, it screams for that song. It's crazy. But the songs that it does have, they're great, and the lyrics and they tell a good tale, just don't hit it. They just don't give you that build. They don't give you that angst. They don't give you that emotion, and it wants to. You can hear it behind the power of it. It's like, and then the door shuts.
Yeah,
you know?
And then it just.
That was disappointment. Big disappointment for me.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how it does. It's nominated for what?
It's nominated for costume design.
Oh,
so I get
that's
it.
Right.
There.
The one award.
Yeah.
It's not taking home the trophy. Well, no, I don't know. Maybe the Academy likes those period pieces for costume and hair and makeup. It really does. Now we have some other big hitters in there as well. I think we have Cruella in there, costume designer. Yeah. I'm trying to think what else is in there. In that, we should have the ballot on when we do these things. You'd think we're a little more organized. I don't even know where my fucking ballot is. Let me see here. You got you've got Dune in there as well. You know, Dune's a big possibility.
Dune's a big one, yeah.
You have Cruella is in there on costume design as well. Huh?
Cruella's in there, so
you have
for costume design and makeup.
Yep. And you also have Nightmare Alley, which is another period piece that we'll be talking about then. You know, I think Nightmare Alley is more right at the Academy's
right up there.
Wavelength.
That's right. That one's right up the alley for the Academy, along with Dune. I think Dune is going to do quite well.
West Side Story. West Side Story is going to do well. We're going to talk about West Side Story here in a second.
Yes. However, do you want to talk about?
No, let's talk about West Side Story now. Fuck it. We'll wait. Okay.
All right.
I'm the wrong person to ask about West Side Story. Number one is this is the type of musical, as a musical theater fan, that I hate. I call them hippie skippy musicals. I despise these bubblegum musicals. I really hate musicals pre-Vietnam, pre-1970s. I think here's why. The music that they write around, you know, Gershwin, these musical theater composers and stuff wrote around these really deep topics. These topics that really should not be made light of, and yet they made entire musicals, an entire franchise around making light of these really deep-seated issues. I mean, when, you know, like take Sound of Music for example. When Sound of Music, they're talking about escaping from the Germans, you know, avoiding concentration camps, and they're singing about, you know, bed nubs and roses and shit, and you know, dancing on the hill. I just want to kick them. You know, I can't stand it. And this is another one. You know, this is a Romeo and Juliet story that should be about love, should be about angst. It's about racism. It's about, you know, these two families. And the way West Side Story is set, it's set more in the modern age than Romeo and Juliet is. And it's about, you know, the Latino community being, you know, put down, and you know, the racism around the Latino community, and just as a race, they're not good enough for the other family, and they're hippie skipping and they're dancing, and it's like. I've never enjoyed it. I've never liked West Side Story. I've never been a fan of it to begin with. So that leaves us here we are now with the magnificent Steven Spielberg's West Side Story, which is just this really strange, visually bastardization of the original. It's like he wanted to capture every single feel, taste, look, choreography, skyline, whatever of the original 1960s film or something.
The original came out in 1961.
Yeah, and they're trying to capture that, and it looks bizarre.
It does.
It looks this in high def. It looks like everybody's on a green screen. It looks kind of outworldly a little bit for this realism that they're trying to go for, and the talent is just flat. Absolutely flat in this movie. So it's like you're watching it, you're kind of like uncomfortable. You're watching this really weird thing. Just like kind of happened, and I tell you, the Academy's gonna eat it up.
I know, and
eat it up.
This one fell flat for me. Honestly, I was expecting a lot more from this. and I'm a big fan of the original. I've seen the original more times than I could count.
It's got Steven Spielberg's magic touch to it. It's got the endearment of the original, storyline and all Americana classic, and it's good for their broadcast, good for TV for these to win awards. It's good for for the Latino community and stuff. It hits all the mark, and being such a bad choice for representation of musicals this year. There are far superior musicals on screen this year. I have a feeling this one's going to get all the crown and glory.
I know.
And this one actually has the potential to sweep the Oscars.
Yeah, this one has.
And it's like, what the hell?
This one has 7 nominations.
Yeah, it has
7 nominations.
Which is disgusting.
It's nominated for Best Picture. It's nominated for Supporting Actress for Ariana DeBose.
Who I like.
No, she did pretty good.
Yeah.
It's also nominated for cinematography, costume design, directing for Spielberg. Like he needs another Oscar. Like he needs a hole in the head. Production design and sound. So.
You say what?
The last 2 that it's nominated for are production design and sound.
Huh?
The last two nominations are production design and then sound.
Yeah.
So
all of these has the potential win for this film. I don't know historically what it's been doing on the award circuit this year, but it's there. It screams Academy darling. If it starts winning early in the night, expect the West Side Story sweep.
Yeah.
And that would be a shame.
It's up for Best Picture, and personally, I think in the Best Picture category, there's others that deserve it more.
Yeah, I do too. I think this is so low on that Best Picture list, and unfortunately, I think that it has one of the highest possibilities of taking Best Picture, and that will be a bummer of the night, especially with the other musicals that are out there that really should have been honored, or that are honored and are not. It doesn't have a chance in hell taking the awards.
We're going to talk about it here when we start talking about Tick, Tick, Boom and the fact that it only got nominated for 2 Oscars. 2.
In the Heights, not even recognized.
Yeah.
What the hell's that about? In the Heights is a far superior film than this West Side Story. It's the same thing, and yet Lynn's going to be shut out this year, which is a shame, I think.
Mm-hmm. And on that note, we're going to move on from West Side Story now
to one of the best films of the year.
To one of the best films.
Yes. Tick, Tick, Boom. Okay, a little history in case you do not know Tick, Tick, Boom. Tick, Tick, Boom is Jonathan Larson's first attempt at a musical. It is kind of the original musical. Jonathan Larson, by the way, is the guy who wrote and created Rent, and he also died the night Rent was to preview on Broadway.
It was the night before.
The night before. And so his legacy is huge in the Broadway community because of his death, and basically Rent being writing his own testament, and powerful stuff. If you ever want to know that story, there are incredible documentaries out there on it. The one being No Day But Today. It is all about Jonathan Larson, about his death, and it goes a lot into Tick, Tick, Boom in No Day But Today, because Tick, Tick, Boom was his first attempt at learning on how to write a musical as a musical theater student all of his life. And when he wrote it, and it was originally staged, it was kind of a semi-ish touch of autobiography. It wasn't quite his autobiography. He wasn't saying, this is my story and take it. However, they took Tick, Tick, Boom, and they recrafted it with the same music, same intentions that Jonathan Larson did at the original show, and made it his biography, made it his life story. And wow. This is Lin-Manuel Miranda, who did Hamilton. This is his directing debut. He also helped recraft this Jonathan Larson story. Jonathan Larson was a huge influence on Lin-Manuel Miranda. Lin-Manuel got into musical theater writing and wanting to stage his own shows because of his inspiration from Jonathan Larson and Rent, and what Rent did, and when Lin was just getting into the business. So these two kind of go hand in hand, and it's only you know, it's poetry that Lin got to do this, got to tell his story, and it's masterful. It is it's a work of art. It's absolutely stunning. It does two things at once. That's just I'm gonna want to watch it tonight. It does two things at once. It showcases Jonathan Larson's talent as a show writer, and the bizarreness of what Tick Tick Boom is, and the angst that what Tick Tick Boom is, and then it showcases Lin's talent as a filmmaker to recraft that, keeping all the intentions of the original in place, and telling Jonathan Larson's story all at once. The unison of that is absolutely beautiful. And then you have Andrew Garfield, Andrew Garfield, you know, the Amazing Spider-Man, is in his element in this. Who thought that he was as powerful as a Broadway performer as he was until he hit the stage? When he auditioned for this and he got the role, is a really funny interview that you know, they interviewed Andrew, and he says when he was in the room with Lin, he came in and he's like, I can't sing. Why are you casting me for this? I can't sing. He started singing and Lin threw a shoe at him. And when Lin threw a shoe at him, he's like, thank you. Because he can sing, and he's incredibly talented. He's talent that was untapped that he didn't know he had. And there are a million comparison videos out there because they take a lot of Jonathan Larson's home videos, and performances that Jonathan Larson did in real life, and basically recreate that for the screen with Andrew Garfield playing the role of Jonathan Larson. And Jonathan Larson must have, Andrew must have Jonathan in him at this time. He's channeling Jonathan as if his spirit is there with him and telling him it's okay, because it is uncanny. It's absolutely uncanny. It's not exact precise. It's not movie by movie, but the feel, the emotion, the intent, all that behind it is uncanny. And it's almost creepy in a sense to watch those comparison videos, but beautiful at the same time. And I can't praise this movie enough. I can't say enough about the performances and about the crafting of these songs and the crafting of what's in there. This is musical theater at its best.
Yes.
This is what a musical movie should be, based off of musical theater. Like, if you're going to take a body of work that works for the stage and recraft it that will work as an intended film, this is how you do it. And Lin knows this because Lin says he will never put Hamilton on the big screen as a film because it won't work.
Right.
And so we get the stage performance of Hamilton as it was intended. You know, so this man knows what he's doing as far as, you know, Broadway theater, you know, going to the big screen and being its own element, but yet still, you know, paying respect to its original body of work. This is one of my favorite films of the entire year.
I've watched this film more times than I could count.
Yeah. And I don't think it's going to do anything.
The nomination for Andrew Garfield is well deserved.
Yeah, it's amazing. At least he's going to get that nomination to be able to be recognized for people who do not know Jonathan Larson's story still, who do not know what this is about, that will see Lin and Andrew together at the Oscars and a little bit of buzz and a little bit of talk. Is there a song nominated? No,
there is not a song nominated. There's only Tick Tick Boom was only nominated for 2 Oscars, for Best Actor for Andrew Garfield, so obviously that is well deserved there. And
with the hype Spider-Man,
and the other one was film editing. It's almost like they just kind of threw that one in there.
Yeah. Well, no, it's justified for film editing.
It's justified,
with all the flashbacks and cutscenes, and like, look at the diner scene. The diner scene for that song. What is that song called?
Sunday,
which has all those cameos of Broadway performers and people that meant something in Jonathan's life. It's amazing. That editing alone for that song is crazy. So it's deserved. The editing is deserved. But
I personally think it deserved a lot more than it got.
Yeah, of course it did. It really did. And the sad part is at least, well, it's not going to get anything, but at least that people who are even remotely curious, because I think because of Lin and because of the successes of No Way Home, and you know, I think all 3 of the boys are going to be there at the Oscars. There's going to be a big buzz about Spider-Man because, you know, Spider-Man was nominated. It got one nomination. You've got Andrew up for an award for a different film. Toby's a Hollywood darling. He'll be there. There was even talk originally of the three of them hosting, which is not going to happen, but
No.
they may present an award together. There may be a little thing at the beginning. So with this, all the hype of Spider-Man, at least when the category is read and Andrew's name pops up for Tick Tick Boom, maybe it will get more people interested in viewing the film and seeing Jonathan Larson's life and what Lynn did. So the word of mouth might be good for this just being nominated, but it saddens me that we're in this political place with the Academy, because they won't even look at a genre or a film like this when you've got a film like West Side Story just sitting there just by title alone, by director alone, wanting to snap up that.
Now, can we talk about Lynn's chances of getting an EGOT?
Well, Lynn's chances of getting an EGOT, I think, are slimmer by the day. And I think that's really sucks, because what an EGOT is, if you guys don't know, they're listening. An EGOT is somebody who has won one of each of the major awards. You've got E for Emmy, G for Grammy, which Emmy is TV, Grammy is music, O for Oscar, which we're talking about now, and T for Tony, which is Broadway. Lynn has the E, he has the G, and he has the T. Tonight, or on Oscar night, if he wins an Oscar, he will have his EGOT. And very few people in the world actually have an EGOT. There's a prestige list of people that have it. Off the top of my head, Whoopi Goldberg has it. A lot of producers and writers are the ones that get EGOTs because they follow suit in all of those different categories. The Tony is really one of the more difficult ones to win, because Broadway being so limited of talent-wise and how you get your hand and your foot in the door on Broadway. But any year now, Lynn puts a song to a movie or does something, he's got a chance for an EGOT. So Lynn will get his EGOT sooner than later. I don't think this is his year. I would like to see it be this year, especially with him being there representing Jonathan Larson. This is not what he's nominated for. Lynn didn't even get credit for this. He's nominated for Encanto for the music for that. But at least he'll be there representing this film as well. It would be nice to see him get an EGOT, because there will be a lot of talk if he gets an EGOT the next morning about Lynn getting his EGOT. People will be curious what that is and why and blah, blah, blah. So it'll get more recognition to the film. But there are a couple songs this year in that category that Lynn is nominated for. The only category he is Best Song. And there are a couple songs in other films this year that I think are a shoo-in for the win. And the number one is Beyonce's song that is from King Richard, is one of the most powerful. To me, that Beyonce song, once it's heard, once it's performed at the Oscars, and if Beyonce comes herself and performs this at the Oscars, this is going to be the next My Heart Will Go On. This song is so inspirational, and it so encompasses everything that movie is, just like My Heart Will Go On did for Titanic. That's what this song can do, and I think this song hands down has a chance to win. If Lynn wins it, I'll be so much more happy, but I don't think he will. We'll see. We'll see what happens that night. But Beyonce is deserving, absolutely deserving this year of that. And then there are a couple of others that the song from For Good Days is just as powerful, encompassing the emotion of the film. The song they picked for Cancer that Lynn is nominated for just doesn't cut it. If they picked Bruno, then it would have been a different story. But
they didn't realize how well Bruno was going to do. They had no idea.
Yeah, they didn't. They give them credit. They picked what they thought was the best, well-rounded Academy-esque song, and we'll see what happens on Oscar night. So, this is a disappointing category. Musical theaters being my love, my passion. There's some great musical theater stuff out. Bite my head off now. Fight me if you want to. Come on and show and debate me. I don't give a shit. Dear Evan Hansen was out this year.
I know.
Deserves some stuff. Most people in the Broadway community will say it didn't. I say you've got it all wrong.
In the Heights,
it's worth the debate. It's worth recognition. In the Heights was out this year. Deserves some recognition. Didn't get recognition. For West Side Story to have the grandiose recognition it did, and to absolutely be one of the worst received films of the year. This was a box office disaster. Granted, we live in the days of box office disasters, but this was a failure beyond recognition, even in standards of COVID days, and it's still going to get all the love and admiration for Night. It's a terrible movie. It's absolutely horrendous, and that's just my opinion. But again, take my opinion about that genre of Broadway out of it. It's weird. It's like a monstrosity. It makes you kind of uncomfortable watching it. So it's not well done. If Spielberg wins for Best Director, then it's all in name. It's not in
Yeah.
what is deserving of that. So we're getting into the hard hitters here soon.
Yes,
We'll
we
start talking
are.
about
Next,
what films
our
really
next
are going
show.
to come.
Yeah, our next show is going to be we're basing it on mothers and daughters. So this next show is gonna be
Heavy.
a pretty deep one. It's gonna be a pretty heavy one.
Yeah, there are this weird subgenre of films that came out this year that are all been kind of nominated in the awards ceremony that either deal with a mother-daughter issue or a mother issue / daughter issue. And we are able to do a whole category about it. So, and they're all heavy hitters. They're all deep. So we'll talk about those on probably Sunday.
Probably Sunday, yeah. Unless something changes. But we will let you guys know.
We will indeed.
And on that note,
shebang, shebang. Bye.
I think we are done for the evening. So
guess what? Nuka survived.
Thank you guys for being here. We truly appreciate it, and we will see you hopefully on Sunday.
Nuts.
Take care, guys.